Is this thing on? How do I work the technology? It's been 1,000 years. My hair has gone gray. Back is hunched over and the cane is whittled to a mere nub. Hey, what's up? How's it going? I handed out shirts for this podcast and I got varying messages of, this is so cool, or wow, those shirts are awesome, or I didn't even know you had a podcast. So, you know, we're great at promoting all of the things. So here's a public midnight snack episode. As a quick reminder, if you're new hanging out, first off, thanks for hanging out. Second, midnight snacks, just me. Lower key vibe versus the traditional interview episode where someone comes in, I make them their favorite childhood meal, and we chat about who made the meal. Lie. If there is a special occasion, lie. It's normally just a trap to get people that I find interesting or are my friends that I haven't seen in a while to come over and hang out. Sometimes the food comes up, but more often than not, we get to the end of the episode and the person I'm chatting with goes, wait, we didn't even talk about the food. And I go, psych. Trick. I find you interesting. I want to know about you and your stories, which, of course, is food related. But it's a fun snowball. It's very low key. But again, midnight snacks, just me. Sometimes I've had some people come hang out for midnight snacks, but the idea started. I just can't. Sleeping is a tough thing. So I would just come here, turn the microphone on and the recording stuff, and just kind of go and let whatever was keeping me awake be blurted out instead of just staying in my brain. And sometimes play video games, sometimes we read, because I always thought reading aloud was a very cool thing. It was very relaxing, and then at some point the world decides you're an adult, you don't get to have things read aloud to you anymore. So, thanks for a fun week. This was cool. We got one more video. One more song. If you're listening to this after I put this out, you're a true real one. So we are closing with Mr. Brightside. Obviously, have to. It's a song that transcends the boundaries of time and space. You don't have to be a certain age to enjoy that song. You don't have to follow a certain religion. You don't have to be a certain color. That just is a banger. Through and through. And also, we'll get to this part later. If you were somebody who was like, when was this song popular? Or this was never popular, we'll read the numbers out, because you could have just Googled it, but I'll do it for you. To start up top, if the person who has been in my DMs for literal months and then slid in once again and this time asked for pics, if you're hate listening to this because I blocked you after you asked and I kindly directed you to the public pictures that I've posted by wonderful photographer Candace Connor, who has been on this podcast multiple times. We do a fun thing every year where she takes headshots of me in clothes And then there's some fun ones that get taken. And the purpose behind it is, I don't know if you've seen Schitt's Creek, that show, but truthfully, not a big fan of that show. Never even finished it. Never even finished I finished the first season. I think I got a couple into the second and was like, nah, okay, whatever. But there was a scene where Moira is conversing. That's the mom. She's conversing with this was a while ago. I don't remember names. I'm sorry if you love this show and you're like screaming right now. I don't remember she's talking to the receptionist of the motel that they're staying at / own. And she gives a wonderful monologue about loving your body and, accepting it, and not only accepting it, but being proud of it, and, take those pictures, because there's going to be a time, where you look back on them and say, dear God, I was a beautiful thing. And body stuff is hard. Whoa. A guy with body image issues? Crazy. Body stuff is weird. It's tough, and even if I didn't like the show, I really appreciated that monologue, and am trying to, find those kind eyes that she talks about. You'll look back on those photos with much kinder eyes. I'm trying to embrace the kind eyes. And that is done with the help of Candace and these photos. And it's fun. We giggle, we laugh, we have such a fun time. And, they're funny. I've gotten compliments, and that's, of course, a nice feeling. And so someone slid into the DMs, and I said, hey, I will direct you to these public pictures that I have posted. And then they had the audacity to come back and be like, yeah, those are kind of boring, though. Like, they were negging me. Like, they took the time, like, first they said, oh, damn, and then came back 20 minutes later, if you check the timestamps, and were like, yeah, that's kind of boring, though. So they took the time to go find them, and then also come back and be like, maybe if I neg him, I can get something more out of this. The audacity. So, yeah, I thought that was mean. Whether they were being truthful or just, joking, like, haha, flirty tease. It's like, I don't know you. And also, like, shut up. I didn't ask. I didn't go back and be like, what do you think of them, huh? No, it's just like, if you want to go look at them, go look at them. So that was nice. When I was like, oh, wait, I can just block you. I don't have to give you the space to say whatever you want to me. Yes, I've put myself in this public position, but also I can still be like, hey, shut the fuck up, you dork. Also, I don't like men. I'm just nice and will, talk to you. Shocker. The feminine-looking man doesn't like men. He just showers and takes care of his body. So that's, yeah. If you hate listening to this person I blocked, hey, weird energy to slide into DMs for, again, literal months. And then when you get what you want, to be like, Kind of boring though. Okay. Weird month. Fun week, weird month. Whenever we last left off in this public diary of conversations. Shortly after the last episode, I got strep throat because, that's something I haven't thought about in 20 years, probably. I thought that was similar to, like, whenever reading aloud no longer is done for you. I thought that's just kind of when strep throat stopped happening also. I thought you just kind of grew out of strep throat. Ear infections, that's another one. Which now that I said that, I'm probably going to get an ear infection. But yeah, I just thought strep throat was kind of like a kid thing. It's very strange to be 30 years old walking into the doctor's office and be like, I think I have strep. I literally went, I think I have strep. I checked for the white dots. That's what my mommy used to do. So, doctor, I made a video about well, that's not a good sign. And it was literally just inspired by what happened at that doctor's appointment where after I said I checked for the white dots, that's what my mommy used to do, the doctor looked at the 30-year-old man who just said mommy and replied with, yeah, but white dots don't always mean you have strep throat. And the 30-year-old man replied, yeah, but that's what my mommy used to say. So she's, white dots don't always mean strep throat. And then after I was like, that's what my mommy used to say, I was like, wait, what the fuck could white dots mean? If it's not strep, Jesus. So she's not wearing a mask for this entire interaction, though. The first bit of the appointment, she swabs my throat and, for the rapid culture, walks out for a couple minutes, says, I'll be right back, walks back in with the mask on. Yeah, I knew that test result immediately. She comes back in with the mask on and she's like, yes, you just tested. And I cut her off. I was like, positive for strep? Yeah. White dots on the throat. Mommy knew. Not Danny. Mommy knew. So strep, that knocked me it knocked me out. For like 2 weeks, honestly, I think I might have had some videos banked, or I know I did a couple when I had strep. But other than, I was doing so much of just like nothing, just hanging out. I was exhausted too. Maybe it was something else with strep. I don't know, but I haven't thought about that illness in, like I said, 20 years or whatever. Making light of it in the office, cracking jokes like, oh, you walked in with the mask on, crazy. My mom says the white dots are strep throat. Ha ha ha. Oh, this is a kid disease. I'll be fine. And then I was wrecked by it. I was laying in my bed like, why must this kid disease come rear its ugly head for me now? And obviously you cannot cook for people when you have strep throat. That's a bad idea. So, that's part 1. Part 2 is I went to a new optometrist because my old one is bad. And I will say the name of it. Don't go to All Care Eye Doctor. It is a scam. I don't know if I should cut that part for the sake of libel or whatever. But, okay, from my personal experience, I would not recommend going to there. And I left a review about it. If you want to go find that, it is pretty funny. It's the only time in my life I've ever felt like walking out of a doctor's appointment. Was my appointment at this place last year. So I was thinking, you got to do this. Normally you do this in like April or May. It is now June. You have to get your eyes looked at. Make the appointment. Go to the new place. It was wonderful. Already, good vibes walking in there. Smoothie place next door. Grabbed a smoothie. Good stuff. So, go back, and in the first, gathering of information and the appointment stuff, because she's like, you're a new patient, we don't know you, who are you? And I told them the story of a previous appointment where they made me feel uncomfortable and explained all the stuff that they did. And she actually called it. She goes, "Are you talking about All Care Eye Doctor?" And I went, "Holy shit, I am." So, again, don't go. But once we get past the whole spiel of that's a bad place, the first imaging, she takes literally the first picture of my left eye. She takes a picture, looks at it, and goes, "Oh, okay, there's something going on there. We got to go back and chat about that. But right now, let's just do the other eye." And I was like, cool. Love that. Good stuff. Turns out there was a hole in my retina, and like the retina was like detached a little bit. So that wasn't cool. And wonderful bedside manner of the new place, which I should also shout out if I'm shouting out bad places. Fuck. I'll look it up when we do music stuff. But she, is saying don't freak out. It's, it's something to monitor. Don't worry. But also if you start seeing black spots and like it feels as if a curtain is covering your eye, you should go to the hospital right away. This is an emergency. You know what? Actually, don't go to the hospital. Go to this special eye hospital because the hospital will just send you there anyway. I was like, oh, cool. Not a big deal. Love that. Nice. So we get through all the stuff of the appointment, and I go home and I'm chatting with my mom about it because she's the queen of eye stuff. She's got everything under the sun with her eyes. And I left the appointment under the assumption that I would be back in 6 months. Yes, within 6 months to check up on this eye thing. So as I'm on the phone with my mother, I see that they are calling, and I go, oh, great. That can't be good. And I answer the phone. Well, that's not a good sign. And I answer the phone, and it's the doctor, and she goes, "Hey, Danny, I was just taking a look at these images, and I'm a little more concerned than I originally let on." The location of the hole and the this and the that and the that, blah, blah, blah. We gotta do stuff on a more immediate timeline than what we had previously discussed. And I was like, okay, cool. What are we thinking? Like a month or two? And she's like, no, I'm sending this over to the specialist, and you should see them like tomorrow if they have time. But it's still not an emergency. I go to the specialist the next day. They confirm everything, and all it. I always find it interesting how there's like the pre-doctor who does a ton of intake stuff, and then the doctor, not post doctor, because it's still the appointment. Doctor number 2 comes in and asks 2 of the same questions, looks at you for 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and then is like, all right, peace. But also still incredible bedside manner. This dude walked in who looked like Israeli supermodel hot. Just a 3-piece suit like the James Bond of eyes or whatever. This dude was all business. He came in and he asked me, he's like, interesting last name. Is that French? And I went, no, Calais. I'm a Scottish and Irish mutt. Everybody pronounces it either Killia or Kalea, but no, it's just Kill-A, Kill-A. And he goes, oh, Calais. I would have said Killia. And I was like, most people do. Not a big deal. You're not bringing me up for a show or anything, so don't worry about it. And he kind of like cocked his head at show and then didn't even fall. He was just like, I hear you have a whole, like, and just went immediately into business. Did not care. Made one question of small talk and then was like, I hear you have a hole in your eye. I'm much more intrigued by that than you as a human being. And that made me feel good. Truth, genuinely. I was like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. And it's not like he was gruff or, an asshole or anything. He was kind and just wanted to do his job well. So he glances in my eye for, like I said, 5 minutes or so. Not even 2-3 minutes. And basically just says, yep, confirmed. There's a hole. There's a hole in the retina. The retina. Dear Eliza. Dear Eliza. Then mend it with straw. So yeah. He says we have to mend your eye with straw. And the straw in this scenario is a laser that was super weird. I went back the next week because, again, they were like, we should take care of this, but still not an emergency. Every time it was tagged with, but it's not an emergency, that like, chuckle just got louder. That by the end of it, when they were like, yeah, we gotta, get you in for a laser next week, but it's not an emergency, it just came out as like, yeah, it's not an emergency. Woo, okay. So, go back, laser. Very, very weird feeling that it was hot and scratchy and pressury. I think if you've ever gotten a tattoo, it kind of felt like that a little bit. And of course, before in another string of like, can we not test fate? Doc walks in and I asked, a couple questions of like, hey, you said this laser is brighter than the sun. We're not supposed to look at the sun. Sorry if that's a dumb question, but what's the deal there? And he was like, oh, it's not going directly in. I'm using it as to fill in the whole science. And then he said, I've done this about 5,000 times and nothing's ever gone wrong. And I didn't say it because I knew he wasn't going to riff with me, but my brain was like, dude, what are you doing? You don't talk about the perfect game while you're throwing the perfect game. If you've done 5,000, you've thrown so many perfect games in a row. You don't bring it up, brother. You keep going about your business. Fastball up and in, slider low and away. Change the levels on them. Curveball in the dirt. You don't talk about the... So yeah, he says, I've done it 5,000 times. Nothing's ever gone wrong. And at that point, I just was like, all right, let's just fucking do... I stopped even the like... I was just like, all right, let's just roll. Whatever. Let's just get this over with. Get this laser in my eye. Feels like a tattoo. Did not take long at all, which was weird. I thought that was going to be a process, and it was 90 seconds, I guess. Very strange. I would rather, though, like, have a 2-week COVID bout or like a flu bout, whichever one you believe is real. I'd rather be the strep throat for like 2 weeks, whatever, than feel this 90 seconds of eye laser again. It was so uncomfortable. It was so weird. And then everything afterwards, open my eye. Everything's purple. Like a really deep purple hue. So that was spooky and kind of fun. As if I had like purple lens sunglasses on. And I said, hey, everything's purple. Is that supposed to happen? And he said, yes, it'll go away shortly. And I went, okay, how short? Is everything just purple for like a day? That one he actually did kind of laugh at. And he went, no, it'll only be a couple of minutes. And I got to tell you, those are some long minutes. Just kind of looking at stuff and being like, oh yeah, no, that's still purple. That's a pretty deep hue of purple. Okay, let's wait this one out a little bit. Still purple. Fuck, okay. And it probably was only a couple minutes, but it felt long. And super sweaty from the laser stuff and the uncomfortableness of it. So someone walked by and was like, whoa, you need a bottle of water. And I went, yes, please, can I have one? Thank you. And the recovery time was a question mark in the whole vein of it's not an emergency, but we got to do this now. The same thing of like, I walked out wearing sunglasses and was like, hey, what can I do? And they were like, oh, just, go about your day normally. And, if it's bothering you, of course, then, take it easy, but you can do whatever. And I was like, okay, can I go to the gym? And they were like, oh my God, no, you can't do that. No physical activity. I was like, okay, can I read or like, can I play video games? What am I allowed to do with this eye? And they're like, yeah, screens are fine. And I was like, okay, I would have thought it was kind of the other way around, but sure, I'm going to go play PlayStation for 9 hours now. Sounds good. And I said, how long is this recovery time? And they said it should be what was it, 24 to 48 or 48 to 72 hours. And then they said, you can't shower for 48 hours, though. And I was like, you know what? That's the timeline I'm going with. If another human, like a medical professional, tells you you can't shower for 48 hours or X amount of hours, that's how long you're not allowed outside into the world for. So I said, okay, fine. I'm going to give this 2 days because then I can shower and wipe all of this off me and move on. Because it's very strange. That was, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago at this point, I guess. And my eye, I mean, it didn't feel weird before either. It wasn't in pain or anything. And they just were like, yeah, you might go blind, so we should probably do something about this. So it was nothing, anxiety spike to 1,000, and now back to nothing. So I guess is that in summation a quick, description of why anxiety shouldn't, you try your best not to spiral, because now again the thing that I was so freaked out about is I've thought about it, but I haven't really thought about it in depth since that, since then, talking about it now, I haven't thought about it that much since it happened. And then I went to Philly and New York for like a week and saw my friends and my baby queen niece. My baby, I love her so much. And Meg, my sister's been on plenty of episodes. The baby was on an episode not too long ago. But, sometimes I just don't want to pack up all the stuff. Sometimes I don't want to be like, hey, we're having fun as brother and sister, and I'm enjoying my time as uncle. Let's get a podcast going. Also, it was really hot in June and July. It's 9 something right now. Yeah, 9. But we had a streak of 95 plus. And within that streak, there was a streak of 100 plus. It's tough to cook for people in that weather. If you don't want to turn the stove on, turn the oven on. I remember growing up, there were plenty of summer days where my mom was like, it's too hot to cook. What do you want to order for delivery? And those were the nights me and my sister were like, yeah, let's go. This is the best. We love heat waves. It's not like my mom was an awesome cook. It was special, because she was such a good cook and cooked often that when she was like, I don't want to put the effort in, we were like, what? You don't? No way. So yeah, I just I go by that barometer, is if it's too hot in my brain, that if I think my mom would not cook for her children, I'm not going to cook for my not children and do a podcast episode. Yeah, of course I could come on and do 30 minutes or whatever. But ready for this also? Why can't do it in crazy heat waves? Yeah, just some good AC noise, great background stuff that totally wouldn't drive everyone insane, including myself. And I sit far away when we're at the table eating, but the AC is pretty much right next to the second mic. So there's been episodes where doing it in the summer, and I look over at this guest and they're being super polite, continuing the conversation and enjoying the meal and humoring me, but they're literally sweating, and I'm like, I can't. I feel bad. So, that's part of the, not known comedian podcasting in an apartment lifestyle. You don't have central air. You have a window unit that's insanely loud. So yeah, I can't look across the table and ask people sometimes what turn out to be serious questions and then have like a sweat bead drip down their forehead, and is it because they're nervous? Is it because it's 87 degrees in this room? Probably the latter. I hope the latter. Oh God, it's still 87 degrees in this room. Jesus. But I got a ton of nice messages. Shout out to the dude in the United Kingdom. Multiple people in the UK who wanted shirts, but I was talking to someone who was like, yeah, I drive a ton for work and I've been listening to some episodes. Like, are there new ones coming? And like I've always said, people got to eat. This is never until I say the words, this is done, it's still going. I really appreciated all of the nice messages in general. Thank you guys for hanging out. I know I say that a lot, but I really truly mean it. It's really cool. All right. Let's do some numbers and be a little petty. Okay. Did you say, when was this song popular? Because again, the answer is 2005. That's the context of the videos. Let's go one by one, though. By song. Good Lord. Okay. Starting with number one. I don't think anyone really questioned this one. But Feel Good Inc. by Gorillaz has achieved platinum status in several countries. This is just the AI overview. I don't want to read AI. Fuck you. Stupid AI. Let's go to Wikipedia instead. Charts. Just a lot of top tens here. Certifications. What country do you want to go with here? I'm in the US. So let's go with the US. Platinum in United States. Wow, this one actually surprises me. This song has been certified 6 times platinum in New Zealand, 5 times platinum in Canada, and 4 times platinum in the United Kingdom. But if you do Feel Good Inc. platinum in United States, it has not been certified platinum in the United States. Oh, interesting. Look at that. Fun. Okay. Either way, I mean, Jesus, 6 times platinum in New Zealand. Shout out New Zealand for loving Gorillaz and Feel Good. Feel Good Inc. All right. Hollaback Girl. Units sold in United States. Hollaback Girl by Gwen Stefani was the first digital download to sell 1 million copies in the United States. sick. Like it seems as if it's like the first song ever, not like Gwen's first song. Yeah, in Wikipedia, in October 2005, Hollaback Girl was the first single to ever sell 1 million digital downloads. Now let's do the platinum question. Hollaback Girl, platinum in United States. Hollaback Girl is certified 6 times platinum. Shout out Gwen. Okay. Jesus, 6 times platinum. That was, yeah, that was everyone's shit. Okay. Photograph. Units sold. This one I actually might have to do Photograph Nickelback because it might just come up with nice pictures. Yep. This is where it would be nice to have a producer, but you know what? I still like doing it all. 2 million units sold for Photograph. Double platinum. Look at this photograph. Honestly, I can do that impression better. Hang on. Look at this photograph. I had to do it louder. The mic was too close. Okay. Now we're getting into the ones where I feel very, very happy about the numbers on this one. I saw many comments of like, when was Lonely by Akon popular? This song was never popular. But first off, Akon ruled the land. You could not listen to what felt like every pop song, it felt like had an Akon hook of just like, we need some sort of connection to the rap community. Let's get Akon on this hook. It was Akon and Nate Dogg. You could not listen to a hook without one of those two on it. Okay? Akon was fucking everywhere. Okay, great. We're just while scrolling looking for numbers, the AI overview, I love using stuff that helps my argument. Lonely by Akon is arguably his most iconic song and achieved significant commercial success. Okay. Let's see. They're not giving me a units sold number. It's like we can't. It's just too many. Okay. Lonely is confirmed platinum, and when I was doing research the other day, I saw something that said it was like 4 times platinum. So I'm looking for the info again that helps me in my argument. Either way, charts. Here we go. Australia 1, Belgium 2, Denmark 1, Finland 19. They weren't on the Akon train. UK singles 1, US Billboard Hot 100 4, US Hot R&B 4. Yeah. So, here we go. Certifications. Yeah, certifications in the Wikipedia. It says 4 times platinum in the United States. So, again, I say Switch, Will Smith. platinum question mark. I think this one's, if I remember correctly, this one's gold. I see 500,000 units sold. Reached the top 10 of Hot 100. I think in the UK for that one. Let's see. No, I don't want to go to the whole discography of Will Smith. Yeah, guys, I love getting jiggy with it. I love Miami. I was 3 when those songs came out. The premise was when I was her age. No one likes reading the descriptions or any of the other comments. There's one video that in the description I put no superheroes. And then every comment has been, what about this superhero? And I mean, it's great because everything says like engage with comments, reply to comments. So all of those are just going to be like, please read the description. Please read the description. So it was funny and also like, God damn it, guys, when all the comments are like, what about this song? And some people were like, he was not even alive when that song was released. All right. So, and also it's Will Smith. We all know Will Smith. Sean Paul. Temperature. Units sold. In the US, it became the most popular song in America, certified double platinum. Furthermore, it recently surpassed 1 billion streams on Spotify. This is Sean Paul Temperature. I've slid off this chair 3 times when recording this. Sean Paul, and just for curiosity's sake, we be burning. Unit sold. I like that a lot of the stuff. It's definitely because I said shout out to the UK, but a lot of the info that is first coming up is like, this is how popular this song was in the United Kingdom in 2005. This one is gold. It appears to be. But again, Temperature, over 1 billion streams on Spotify, double plat. This one, a lot of white people were commenting, I don't know this one, or like, this song sucks. Still Tippin' by Mike Jones is certified platinum. When was this song popular? Still, now. It's awesome. And this song is iconic. And someone was like, I love rap music. This song sucks. I've never even heard of it. It's like, okay, go read, please. Actually, I'm really curious. I have something written by Shea Serrano called The Rap Yearbook, where he makes an argument for what is the best rap song, or like not even the best. It's the most important rap song. Please hold. We're going to go to 2005. I would not. How confident do I want to be? God, I hope Still Tippin' is. Fuck. All right. Please hold. Okay, well, first we skipped to 1996. That's what we flipped to, I guess, and it's California Love, if you were curious. Okay. 1999, My Name Is Eminem. Grindin' by Clips, 2002. 2003 is Into Club, 50 Cent. 2000. Let's go! And it is 2004 because it first came out in 2004 and drove Houston wild. And it only blew up in 2005 because that's when people caught the wave, but it was going nuts in Houston. And it was on the charts in 2005. Oh man, this feels great. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I don't make any money off of this, so I don't think that this can be flagged for anything. There were only 4 songs that were in contention for this chapter, but really, there was only ever one. The 4. Roses by Outkast, Drop It Like It's Hot by Snoop Dogg, and Pharrell Williams. Jesus Walks by Kanye West, and Still Tippin' by Mike Jones, Slim Thug, and Paul Wall. The most fun song of 2004 was Outkast's Roses, a song so transfixing that you kind of forgot that Andre 3000 makes 25 separate references to poop in it, but Roses wasn't even the most important song on 2003's Speakerboxx / The Love Below. That was Hey Ya, possibly the best rap song ever with an exclamation point in the title. The most mesmerizing song of 2004 was Snoop Dogg's Drop It Like It's Hot, a song so hypnotic it managed to prop Snoop atop Billboard's Top 100 chart for 3 straight weeks, a thing that had somehow never previously happened during his career. But Snoop had been rapping for 65 years by the time he released Drop It Like It's Hot. There's a annotation at 65 years, which if I had to guess, yep, if you go to the annotation, it says, there's a possibility this is not an accurate number. Snoop had been rapping for 65 years by the time he released Drop It Like It's Hot. He'd long been a star. It didn't establish him, nor did it establish Pharrell. Pharrell actually wrote for and helped produce Rex and Effect's Rump Shaker in 92. That's how long Pharrell had already been around. Another annotation. Pharrell was 75 years old when he produced Drop It Like It's Hot for Snoop. Pharrell had come out of retirement to produce for Snoop. Pharrell Williams always lied about his age. He lied about his age all the time. When I was researching for this book, I talked to Frank Sinatra. I said, Frank, you hang out with Pharrell. Just between me and you, how old is Pharrell Williams? You know what Frank told me? He said, hey, Pharrell Williams is 137 years old. 137 years old. The best song of 2004 was Kanye West's Jesus Walks, a song so perfectly constructed I have to assume it is and will remain forever the high point of Jesus' rap career. But it gets nixed too. Because while it was, is, will remain truly magnificent, it, mostly, didn't accomplish anything broader than its own success. The most important song of 2004 was Still Tippin'. It managed to not only create insta-superstars out of Mike Jones, Slim Thug, and Paul Wall, and Chameleonaire, albeit indirectly, but more permanently, it legitimized Houston as a viable rap city, which in turn led to the adoption and mutation of the city's music styling, a sound still prominent in rap today. Wrapped in fofos, tipping on fofos, wrapped in fofos. Fofos, I'm tipping, wood grain, I'm gripping, catch me lane, switching with the paint dripping. Yeah, Still Tippin' is incredible. This song is not only popular, but it is a moment in rap, and people are like, I love rap music. I've never heard this. It's like, shut the fuck up. Man, I'm probably just going to read the rest of this chapter now. And we all know Mr. Brightside is a quadrillion platinum song, probably. Let's find that. Mr. Brightside. Whoop, that's not how you spell that word at all. Platinum. It is one of only 2 songs, the other being Ed Sheeran's Shape of You, to have been certified 10 times platinum by the British phonographic industry. What the Australia is 17 times platinum. Mr. Brightside is a cultural phenomenon. Oh my God, 408 weeks, Mr. Bright, as of May 9th, 2024. Just under 8 years and counting in the top 100. I mean, that'd be crazy if someone was like, when was this song popular? And they'll be eaten alive. I guess really the point of this episode, I always try to button it with something. I guess really the point of this one is the pod will never die unless I die or am wildly depressed. And even when I'm wildly depressed, I've done some of them I think are the best episodes. So the pod will never die unless I die. I really, really appreciate the messages and the people who have showed up. And Still Tippin' is not only popular, but an iconic song. And I think really point 3 is the most important. Cool. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. And I will chat with you soon because, like I said, the pod never dies. Oh, also there's a Patreon. It's $1. That's, I'm trying to work on that. That's where Midnight Snacks are mostly going to go. I've put up some videos there early before posting them. Some outtake stuff, trying to just grow whatever you guys want to see. I'm down for it. Within reason. Within reason. Goodbye.